We didn't learn the first time. We didn't learn the
You
first.
know what? It's not even that we didn't learn the first time because people learned and people knew. But now all of a sudden, since we are in the process of eliminating education and history itself and rewriting history to make it look good, no one really wants to care. Because this is all we're doing is repeating it.
But who fucked up education to begin with? I'll give you a hint. No Child Left Behind. That's all I got for you. No Child Left Behind. No Child Left Behind was the start of the educational department becoming more test driven, less education, because we didn't want to leave anybody behind. But again, it's also a byproduct of a lot of parents and people and teachers coming to the government and saying, help us. We can't get we have the lowest graduation rates. We have the highest dropout rates. We have these kids undereducated. We need educational funding, which they still never got. We need educational funding. We need new books. We need new schools. We need this. We need that. And all they took away from it was, hey, let's not leave any child behind. Let's build a standardized testing situation where you teach to test. You teach to test. You don't teach anything of any real substance. You just teach to test. And let's make sure that they know enough to test out at the end of the year so they can graduate. So we don't look like a country of, dropouts and shit.
I mean, we don't look like a country of dropouts now, but we certainly don't look like the smartest group of people.
We do not look like the smartest group of people in the world.
I mean, literally the world is like,
you idiots.
What happened over there?
Exactly.
What did y'all do?
Like, you goddamn idiots. What the fuck are you doing? But again, byproduct, like we said, like we started this episode by saying, history, know your history, and it's repeating all over again. And I don't think people realize how hard it took or how much BS it took for the Obama administration to come in and clean up the mess. It took them 2 years, almost 3 years to clean up the mess. And then people bitched and complained because they cleaned up the mess. And it's like, if you don't have an airline industry, those are millions of jobs that people are out of. You don't have an auto industry, that's millions of jobs that people are out of. Just because these companies say that they are worth billions and trillions of dollars, it's all on paper. It's not all profit, because these people that are getting the profits aren't sharing the profits. I don't understand why people didn't learn that during the Reagan administration. Trickle down economics never worked. It wasn't
ever worked. Never ever worked. And it, to me, that is utterly. I've never understood how people got behind that idea. Because let's think about it. In anything that you deal with, that you do, what trickle down do you want? I'm going to trickle you down some water. I'm going to trickle you down some food. I don't want no coins. I don't want no leftovers. I don't want no trickle down. I want my own. Trickle nothing down to me. So the trickle down thing never. I'm going to make all of this money, and whatever drips out of my bucket, you can have left over.
Who does that?
Do what?
What multi-billionaire is sharing any of his money? Now,
one, two, the audacity of you to think that I want whatever trickles out of your own bucket. Bitch, I want my own bucket.
Exactly.
I don't want what comes out of yours. I want my own.
Because what comes out of yours comes with limitations, comes with
taxes,
comes with
extra taxes.
Exactly. Comes with a whole bunch of bullshit that I may not want to do. I may not want to, go the route that you want me to go to acquire your pieces of your wealth or coins out of your wealth. Whereas I could just go out and get my own, or I could just go out and work for my own. I think that's how, it was supposed to be designed, was for me to go out and get my own. Obviously it's not. Because obviously someone somewhere thought that the trickle down economics was great for the country, and it was not.
Let's be honest, it wasn't a great for the country type of thing. The fact of the matter is if you go out and you get your own, I can't be better than you. I can't be the 1%. It's not going to be a 1% anymore. Now it's going to be a 90%. Now it's going to be a 95%. That means we're all equal. We're all on the same playing field. I can't have that. I have to be better than somebody.
Absolutely. I'm not special. I'm not special anymore. I don't really care. I want to survive. I want to thrive. I don't really care if you're special or not. Matter of fact, that goes back to the last episode. I don't care about you. I care about my friends, my family, my circle, my situation.
Here's the thing. Going back to the last episode, I found out I care a little bit more than I thought I did. And I hate that for me. I hate that for me. I actually care a little bit more than I thought I did. And I have found myself in a position of being careful of who I'm speaking with and what I'm saying to them. My circle that was already small got a little bit smaller. The people I thought I was already cool with, kind of a little lukewarm now. Not so much cool, more like lukewarm. I'm in an understanding of, okay, I'm going to be over here and they're going to be over there. And if that's what it has to be to maintain my peace, that's just what it's going to be.
We're gonna sidetrack for just a second off of the initial topic and subject of this episode, which is the post-election, our thoughts and feelings on post-election. I'm sidetracked because I want to address exactly what you just said. For possibly the last 2.5 years, everything you just said has been what I've been on, has been me. My circle, of course, has gotten dot status. I'm not even sure if it's a whole dot, half a dot. Very, very big. My stage drive, my life is, I'm dedicated to this, and I'm dedicated to my peace, and I'm dedicated to caring about those that care about me and giving them the attention that they require, as well as everyone else that's orbits outside of the dot. I like you, I love you, but know that I'm not always going to be there like I was. And it's no offense. It's just closing some doors, opening some new ones. And sometimes you got to step away from what it was and step into what is. And yeah, absolutely everything that you just said, that whole, what you just said is exactly what it's been, because it's like, I don't know. I won't say it's been a change in people. I don't. I think it's more eye-opening. I think as we get older, our eyes become wide open. The things that the OGs were telling us back in the day start to make a whole lot more sense. I got to go back and give props and give, whatever to the OGs that tried to teach me a long time ago. I appreciate each and every one of them, because now it all makes sense. Now it all becomes.
In the process, I feel like I've gone through a couple of different kind of emotions, and more or less I'm at a point of, I was at a point of, F it. You don't care about me. I don't care about you. F it. I've stopped my protest. I ain't doing nothing. This, that. And I thought about that. But there are people, I ended up going to work and there's people that I actually like at my job. I know, crazy, totally unheard of. I know it. But there are people that I like at my job, and I'm not going to stop being me because they like who I am. They like me, and I like me. I'm not going to stop being me. I am just moving different. And it's not that, oh my gosh, this is an election brought you to that. No, I was coming. It just pushed me a little bit, but I was coming. And with that being said, I am concerned about myself. I'm concerned about others. And I am in my resting era. I want to live a little soft life, a little bit of doing nothing. And I have been, quite honestly, sitting back and giggling because I did not realize the find out portion was going to come this quick. Oh, baby, I didn't know it was coming this fast. And this find out portion is it's hitting. It's hitting.
This
It's
portion,
hitting.
ladies and gentlemen, this is you done already went to the AB selection. This is how they are. They asking for the second off right now, y'all. It's the find out portion of the fuck around is
It's crazy. It's funny. It's
wow.
only funny. It's funny. Clarify. It's funny. I'm not laughing at people's trauma or pain or whatever it is they're going through. I'm laughing at the lack of common sense. You didn't know that was going to happen? Denaturalization. You didn't know?
They don't remember that. They don't remember. Memories are so short that they don't remember what happened. Or let me better rephrase that because it wasn't entirely that group of individuals that are facing denaturalization that voted for him.
Right.
However,
you loud and proud ones out there. How your abuelita doing? How's abuelita?
2016,
How's Theo?
2017,
How he doing?
2018, 2019. All of y'all, you all forgot that quickly? Just that quickly, you forgot that this man was separating kids at the border from their family for months, almost years at a time.
There is now, and I thought this was completely interesting. Tom Homan is now the border czar. Let's take a look at it. That's his title. That is his title. Border czar.
Same
I didn't know we had
temporarily head of ICE during the first administration. The same guy,
the one that came out of retirement for this.
was pulling
Twice.
Twice.
The border czar. We have czars in America. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
That's new for me.
Well,
but
no. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just remembered that during the whole entire war on drugs, there was a war on drugs czar. Can't remember what his name was, but there was one, maybe two, that I honestly remember during the late 80s, early 90s, and somebody in the comment section will probably correct me, but I remember there was a war on drugs czar and it was a whole department created just for that.
Did not know that czars existed in this country. That's interesting to me.
But they only seem to appear during the how do I best say this without offending too many people? The Republican Party's time in office, they only appeared during that time because service, there was not a drug czar, there was a Department of Health head or something to that. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was never a drug czar during Democratic stays in the White House. They were called something else. I mean, it was the same thing, but they were called something else because the word czar, if anybody remembers, goes all the way back to the Russian times of the world. And
I'm sorry, the who?
Russians.
The Russians?
Russians.
The who?
Said Russians were
Russians. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Said Russians were the last czar that they had. They unceremoniously destroyed his entire bloodline. If anybody remembers, we got a whole movie out of it called Anastasia for no damn apparent reason. Great movie, great soundtrack. We got a movie.
All I saw was cartoon.
Yeah, that's what it was. But
for no reason.
For no reason.
She's not a Disney princess, is she? You know what? I'm sorry.
She's not
different rabbit hole.
But that was the last czar I remember. There's never been another czar anywhere around the world. I don't know about you, but yeah, sounds a little Russian to me.
Sounds a little Russian to me too. I that's one of my issues. Like I've been digging deep. I've been digging deep, and I've been going through a few. Listen, say man, I know America loves America. Everybody loves it, and I get it.
Everybody loves America.
I just don't.
We say that every American loves America. Just let's put it that way.
Oh, well, yeah, if a show.
Ooh,
But
coming. It's coming.
yeah, and I get it. Cool. I am not okay specifically with two things from our president elect that I've noticed last term he served and what I see is happening again this term. One of my biggest things is I'm not a fan of his speeches. Don't like to hear this man talk. I don't like to hear him speak. But when everyone else, his minions, his cronies, his people, whatever, Trumpsters, I don't know what they're going by these days. But whenever they speak, he don't. And I have an issue with that. Because a lot of them speak horribly wrong to and about other people. And
loud and wrong. Just
loud and wrong. And I don't like that he doesn't say anything. He just lets them go. It's like when you're walking past somebody's yard and they got a pit in the yard and the dude just let the pit off the leash and just go. I don't like that. I don't like that. I also don't like the fact that idol worship and love affair with Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong, the dude in South Korea. That one. I don't like his relationship with, there's a guy from Israel who's mining in Congo. Yeah, y'all look it up. Don't like that relationship. I know that's why a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to vote for Trump because Israel. Do your research. Because if you found out what I found out, guarantee you wouldn't have voted that way.
Listen, I'm going to say this one time for the one time. Israel is a whole entire mess that was created by the Allies. And the fact that we're still dealing with this in 2024 shows you that maybe, just maybe, that one should have been left alone. Unfortunately, it's a very unfortunate situation as to what happened then. But the fact that we're still dealing with it now, some 70, 80 years later, my math might be a little off by 10 years, but the fact that we're still dealing with it, no. Israel is...
Why are we still dealing with it?
That entire mess, because it's a mess. It was a mess created by the Allied powers, the end of World War II. Don't believe me? Go look it up. Please go look it up. Please pick up a book and do some research. It may help all of y'all. It was a mess that was created by the Allied powers back in that time. It was a mess that continued to be funded by the Allied powers.
Funded. Code word, keyword.
Keyword here is funded because everybody funded Israel. Everyone still funded. Well, no, because I think America made its last reparation payments some years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I remember. Oh, no. I know they still giving them money. Well, no, I'm sorry. Let me better rephrase that. We're not giving them money per se. And this is a thing that people don't even realize. Oh man, we're going so far to the right, left, right, center.
We did. So not what we were talking about.
Let's throw this out here real quick. There is a misunderstanding between what we're actually giving these countries and money. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, ladies and gentlemen, they are not giving money to nobody. However, what they are giving is billions of dollars in weapons, food, and manpower.
Oh, you mean the shit that we can't get here? Oh, okay, cool. Go ahead. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. So when you sit back and say my tax dollars pays for this, and this, well, yes and no. Your dollars technically don't, but your taxes do. We've given technology to all of our allied partners, yet some of those partners have gone on to build better countries with the innovations that we've given.
Listen.
Here we are sitting back trying to figure out how we're going to get a gallon of milk tomorrow.
Damn.
However,
Kazam.
The answer to that question is not, it should never be isolationist, because once we become an isolationist nation once again, I want you guys to take a small break and look at other isolationist countries that aren't Switzerland, or there's another neutral country I'm thinking of that I can't think of right now, Norway. Taking away those two countries right there, because they've been neutral and non-aggressive for centuries.
Except this past week, what Switzerland said, the prime minister was that a little fucking hilarious. Continue.
Yeah, Switzerland is at a point where it's just like, you know what? FTK, all right? FTK, all of y'all, because y'all getting on our nerves. But anyway, if you take those two countries out, you just kind of look at the other countries that are a part of the non-aggression pact or a part of a situation where they're a neutral country, you will notice their economies are a little teeter-totter on one end or the other. It's either good or bad one day or to the next. I agree that isolationists should not be the answer. I do believe, however, that, again, history teaches us that mistakes were made when jobs were shifted to other countries because America thought that would be a great ass idea to outsource our work to other countries. And when I mean America, I mean the politicians that were elected during those elections that push for countries to, get work from us because we thought it was a good idea. We thought it was cheaper to send our work to another country. We thought it was greater if we sent that work to another country. A, we'd help that country, and B, we'd help ourselves. How did we help ourselves? And actually, how did we help those other countries? But I mean, that's conversations for another episode, another day.
Yeah, different episode.
There's history lessons that, again, like we started this episode talking about. There's history that is repeating itself.
And it's looking nasty.
The part that's killing me is that I've lived through this part of history before. I've lived it, and I'm not that old. I've lived this part of the story already. It's literally, I was younger then, so I didn't understand it all. But as I grew and studied history, and studied economics, and studied social sciences, studied government, I'm starting to realize, I started realizing maybe 15, 20 years ago that I've seen this story before. I've heard these words before.
We've seen all of this before, whether it's during our lifetime or during an older lifetime.
Yeah.
It's all been done. Nothing under the sun is new.
Okay.
It's just, why we can't repeat the good part? Why we gotta go through this? This is BS. I don't like this. Why we gotta go through this?
Good parts of the story, like, okay, the 90s were excellent, right? The 90s were...
Oh, yeah. Depending on who you ask.
For the world, actually. It was a boom period for the world, right? But prior to the 90s, it was... the 80s were for a certain group of people. The 80s were all well, right? The 80s were shit. Everybody had money, was making money. Until you realize everybody wasn't. And matter of fact, we were singing "We Are the World" to help the people in Africa because the people in Africa needed food. So as much as anybody wants to
hold their hands across America in Coca-Cola commercials, continue.
Right, exactly.
Continue.
As much as people want to say the 80s were great, no, it didn't become a good situation for anyone literally into the 90s. There was, and this doubles back to the start of the episode again. When was America great? There was one singular decade that can be singled out that for everyone across the board, or at least 95% of the people across the board, America was great. These times that they're asking for again was not great America. It was white America. It was
very much
was awesome for white America.
I think that's a lot of, in my personal opinion, a lot of that is, I don't want to say dog whistles, but it's underlying secrecy, underlying like quiet talk, behind the scenes talk. Make America great again.
But is it secret anymore? Is it a dog whistle anymore?
Oh, it's not a secret anymore, but I hate that there are people who feels like they are actually included in that great America, babe, you're not. And this is where the find out comes in. This is where the find out comes in. Because you're not a part of that. Thanks for your vote, though.
Appreciate you.
But you appreciate that. But we still don't want you across the street from our kids playing with our children.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we still look at you as those. You're still looked at as the demographic that gets the abortions the most. So thank you for your vote, though. Appreciate that. But we still don't want you to do shit but wash our toilets. We don't want you to do nothing.
No. They don't want you. They don't want you to wash your toilets because they want to deport you. So who actually is going to wash your toilets?
But thank you for your vote.
Who's washing toilets? Who's picking fruit that is?
All we want to know is are you going to be there on time for the brown van to pick you up so you can go to Plantation Ale? That's all they want to know. But thanks for your vote, though. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Dumbasses. And I said that with my whole chest because I happen to believe that a majority of the Trump supporters didn't do your research. You just went off of what someone else said, took it and ran with it. I've read more of Project 2025 than you have. That's ridiculous. And I'm not a Trump supporter or a Kamala supporter. But I do my research. But I know what the hell I'm getting into before I get into it. I know what it's going to cost. Oh, well, he said, did you look at the paper? He gonna tell you anything. He will sell you salt if you a snail. What does that mean? Your words don't mean nothing to me if I ain't got no backup to it. And I have yet to see backup. And I'm not even talking about for me. I'm talking about for the supporters. You had all these people backing you up. And then after the vote was done and you got what you needed to get, all these other people said, nah, you still that nigga on the street. You're still a nigga with a hard ER. And that's how I still see you. And you're like, oh my God. They don't want me in the MAGA family? Bitch, I could have told you that. But I'm still part of the MAGA family, right? Go ask your people. This is the find out part. Go find out. And I think I have a lot of this press behind it, not because I am such a Democrat. I'm not such a nothing. I'm such a Torah. Never misunderstand that. But I have a lot of press behind it because I work in customer service. And as a worker in customer service, it is my job and my duty to make sure I give customer service to anyone, regardless of who you are. Now, I have a constant supporter come into my place of business before the election. And I knew she made it known. That's your business, sis. I don't have no issues with that. She's sweetheart, such a sweetheart, cool as a fan. And she come in every day and she would say something as, hey girl, hey, woo, woo, woo. And she treats me like the shit on the bottom of her shoes now. How the hell did that happen? I give her the exact same customer service on November 14th as I did on September 14th. But somewhere in between September 14th and November 14th, something happened for her to change her whole attitude around towards me. I wonder what that was. Oh, never mind the fact that I wear a lot of blue. Keep in mind, I wear blue because I like blue. Ask anybody who know me, I wear blue all the time. It's either blue or it's black. So it's not let me join forces and, kumbaya. None of that bullshit. I like blue. I've been liking blue my entire life. But why does this lady treat me differently every time? And I thought, well, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's just me. And then the other supporter that works with me, I see how she treats her. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed with her. But with me, she won't even look at me. Now, supporters, this is why I'm riled up. Because if you're going to be who you're going to be that from the dough. Be that from the get-go. She should have been that in September. She waited till November to grow balls? What do you mean? That's wild. So I have an issue with everybody all of a sudden coming out with, we never even wanted you here, and this, that, and the third, and thank you for your vote, but we don't want you. And it's the find out section. May the odds forever be in your favor. Have the date that you deserve. Back to that. So stop telling me to take my emotion out, because I don't hear nobody talking about take your emotion out when you had me up there protesting for George Floyd. I didn't hear nobody telling me to take the emotion out when you had me up there running around trying to figure out what's going on with all the police officers and how we can get justice for this person and justice for that person. There was no taking my emotion out of the situation then. I'm not taking my emotion out of the situation now. I have 4 black boys and a daughter. I ain't taking my emotion out of nothing. If I take my emotion out, that means I'm just a robot. And if you're good with that, you're good with just being a robot, do you, boo? But I ain't taking emotion out of anything. So don't come at me. I'll come back around.
I need to understand the theory of take the emotion out of it.
And you know what? The thing about it is that I've heard only black men say that to me.
But why?
I don't know.
I
Don't you want me to be emotional about you? Don't you want me to be there by your side, behind you, having your back? Don't you want that? I don't know.
That is by far the weirdest shit I've heard. And I've heard some weird shit, but that kind of tops the cake on shit that you shouldn't be hearing in 2024. Take the emotion out of it. Come on, man.
I thought we were doing this whole healing, generational trauma thing, loving on yourself, self-love, going to therapy thing. But now you're telling me to take the emotion out of it. Listen, do you know how many fuck yous I got for that? Listen, I got to fuck you for everybody who say that. Just let me know. Right in the comments.
I guess it's at the top of the list of fuck it. We actually do care, but there's a certain amount of things we care.
Yeah, there is a certain
amount of things that we care about. Okay.
Agreed.
Everything else, you can take it, you can have it, but there's a dedicated group of things that we really care about, and one of those things is just listen. Don't disrespect me. I won't disrespect you. If you don't like my
period,
then that's.
And I have absolutely no issue with that. Like you have your thoughts and your feelings and your own emotions, and you have that right to have all of that. Right. And I'm good with that. But when you come at me sideways and try to, one of my biggest things, when I feel like you trying to disrespect me like I'm stupid, I'ma act stupid with you, then you gonna get exactly what you wanted. I will be that one. Ain't no go high over here. They go low, I go lower.
Exactly.
There's no go high over here.
I don't think it's what they. I don't think it's what they thought they were going to get, because they always think of us as being the better person, the higher person.
That will see. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up.
You're not gonna come back at me cross-eyed, because you're such a nice person, and I'm having a shitty day, and I want to have a shitty moment. And then when I go,
you should be the better person.
When I go shitty on you, all of a sudden it's, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. Well, I'm just reciprocating what was given.
And I don't understand why people don't understand that. That's so baffling to me. Like, I cannot stand for, okay, so I'm not going to lie. I've been looking at a whole bunch of TikToks about, am I the asshole? And in a majority of am I the assholes, the person is told, be the better person. Be the better person. When they are done wrong, they are told to be the better person, be the bigger person. And I don't subscribe to that. I think that is why I gotta be better when you were the one who came off and listen, had you not been a shitty person from the beginning, we would not be here.
We would not.
But I gotta be better and forgive you even though you were shit.
Listen,
no.
It's interesting as a parent now, having to have taught my kids that, because I know the consequences of not being of being a shitty person back to somebody, growing up, and then, as a teenager and as a young adult and as an adult. It's like, I know the consequences of what could happen, So I'm going to teach you to be the better person. But now it's just like, no. You're a shitty person. I'm going to reciprocate the shitty back to you. And then hopefully you don't have anything left to say to me, or you don't come back again, because I don't have time. I think that's one of the biggest lessons that you and I both learned from our prior place of employment, was that, just because you give doesn't mean that I have to reciprocate what you're giving out.
And why would you give it to me? Because I'm going to go hard. I'm going to go hard. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
And you're going to go to HR, and now everybody's going to be upset. And I'm going to be sitting there asking, what did you expect to happen?
What did you think?
Did you think?
What did you think?
I was in this position that I would not take it there with you. I will take it there with you. And then I will do it with a smile. And then I will sit back and I will tell people, yeah, they came at me sideways. I came at them sideways. Well, you're in a position of no. I'm human. I am human. It's the same conversation I had at another place of employment too. The guy got on the phone, was yapping to the captain. And I mean, he literally 20 minutes of just and a couple of cuss words in between there. And I politely put the thing on, put my microphone on mute. I was nice. I put my microphone on mute because my facial expressions that he could see was all over the place. And I'm about 5.5 seconds away from losing my job. Then it occurred to me, I am human. And if you continue to have this conversation this way, you're not going to like how this conversation goes the next way. So stop it. And I took my microphone off mute, and I politely told him that. I said, hey, I'm a human being. You're a human being. Would you like it if I talk to you the same way you just got finished talking to me? No, I would not like that. Okay. So if that is the case, don't do it again. Completely changed the whole conversation.
Yeah, and you know what? And I get that. I understand where you're coming from as far as you had told your kids about being the bigger person, because I was that kid that was always trying to be the bigger person. And I think that I'm now in my I ain't doing that no more era. And with that, I ain't doing that no more era. Yeah, if I lose you, I lose you. Hey, listen, hey, I don't know what you're going to, hey, I don't know what you want me to say.
Exactly.
I'm going to try to reel it in a little bit. I was going to spend this episode attempting to not cuss at all. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I was crazy. But I am going to reel it in a little bit. Here's the thing. I'm a lot of things. And one of those is an overthinker. So once I put out things in the world, I will always go back and rethink about it. Not to backtrack or to backpedal. I meant everything I said. I am not in any way implying that all Trump supporters are racist or stupid. I am implying that stupid racists vote for Trump. I don't want she doesn't listen. One of the greatest things about this country is, even though depending on who you are, you may not be acknowledged as a citizen all the way. You may not get every perk and right of the citizens. You do have a right to speak your mind, and you do have a right to vote for whomever you choose. So you voted for who you wanted to vote for. That's one, none of my business. And two, you're right. I just do not think that a lot of people who went out and voted for their particular politician, I use that word loosely, did the research. Because if you had done the research and actually looked at everything, not just listen to what sounds good to you, but actually go and look through everything that's not only going to benefit you, but your kids in the long run and possibly other people, you would have realized what we were getting ourselves into. And it's never been an easy road in this country for people of color It's not going to get any easier. The economy, the money that you think is going to trickle down, they've been promising us that since the 80s, baby. We still waiting. So.
Bad Jodeci song.
So.
We have been waiting for that trickle down, for them trickle down economics to work for so long that it's a pipe dream now.
It's a pipe dream now. And history really is repeating itself in real time, in real life. And I will go off of something that's actually happened. The president-elect has decided to vet out all of the generals that he do not think should be generals. This happened in Nazi Germany, and I don't understand why no one is seeing this. Why is this weird? There is also I believe it was in the 1950s, during Eisenhower's term, Eisenhower had something he called Operation Wetback, where he gathered Mexicans, Mexican Americans, immigrants, nationals, non-nationals, whatever, and sent them to Mexico. This has happened before, you guys. It's history repeating itself. I do not know why y'all didn't really research. Listen, just one, but right now I would like someone with intelligence who is not argumentative, who is a Black Trump supporter, I want them to explain to me what's going on with the white reparations is what I'm calling it. Of all the boats we could have missed, guys, how we miss that one? I'm just someone with intelligence who is not trying to argue, because I found that there's a lot who just, like, I literally had to go on one of my social medias and, like, unfriend and block someone. Granted, I don't even know who this dude was. We grew up in the same hometown. He graduated like 3 or 4 years after me. I don't know this person, but cool. But the way he was so disrespectful about his vote and who he chose and everyone who didn't, listen, I've heard a lot of we can't agree to disagree. Sure we can, but if this is how you gonna do it, then no. Like, I've heard a lot of people just come out swinging, fighting, and this is what you want. I'm protecting my peace. Delete. Cause baby, the way I don't have time for it, and please believe, I don't care how much of our blood we share. You can be on that list too. I have no issues. And it's not even about who you voted for. It's a lack of respect that's coming with your argument or whatever you want to say. Have some respect, because I'm not going to disrespect you. But the minute I feel disrespected, you'll never see me again.
The key with that is the disrespect.
It's so unnecessary.
Disrespect. It's so very unnecessary. And I try to understand I try to understand. And if I'm not being disrespectful to you, please don't be disrespectful. Do I like your choices? Shouldn't matter to you, and it definitely doesn't matter to me.
Absolutely.
You can choose to do whatever. Again, goes back to our last episode. Don't really care. However, you can choose to do whatever you want to do. Just please don't disrespect me, because I'm not going to disrespect you. I don't really, as long as you give me respect, I'll give you respect. And that's all I expect in this world. I don't expect anything else but the respect that's given. If I'm going to give you the respect, please give it to me. Other than that, I don't really care what you do, because what you do don't make me shit. What you eat don't make me shit. So at the very end of the day, when I walk away from you or walk away from anyone else, I have to be accountable to one person and one person only, and that's me.
Yep.
guarantee you, when I get to those pearly gates and I got to talk to St. Peter, St. Peter's not asking me about you. He's asking
at all. You're not going to be
I don't
on my mind.
exactly.
And St. Peter is not going to be, hey, I ain't worried about what they did. I'm talking about you.
About you.
Keep that in mind.
That I need people to understand. When it's that time, and you got to stand before Peter, at them gates, it's like a Maya song. It's all about me.
Yeah, and like I said, everybody does their thing for whatever reason they do their thing. You did what you wanted to do the way you wanted to do it with whomever you did it for.
Ooh.
I think that it should be because I've seen a few people be like, wow, like one girl in particular on one of these sites said that her mother and her grandmother cut her off because who she voted for.
Wow.
They have a right to do that. They're protecting their peace.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You not let your mom and your grandma tell you who you should vote for. But at the same time, if your mom and grandma decide that they don't want to deal with you because of that vote, I mean, they have that. It is what it is. It is what it is. You have the right to do, for now, at least. Last time I checked, your body, not your choice. But anyway, you have the right to do whatever you want to do. Just don't let consequences and repercussions, it is what it is. It is what it is. She decided that this is what she wanted to do. She felt like that was the best candidate for her. She enjoyed this candidate. So this is the way she voted. And her mom and grandmother said, I don't want to talk to you. Now that's your mama and grandma. At the end of the day, they probably going to come around. But your relationship is never going to be the same. That's the risk you were willing to take. You did what you need to do. Lay in that bed you made, sis. What's the problem?
Yeah,
but I've been seeing that a lot lately, that people are just like, why can't we just agree to disagree? Why does it have to be this or that? Have you seen the people within your community? Yeah, that's why. Those are some nasty people. Those are some mean. And like I said earlier,
unnecessary.
Just because you voted for Trump does not make you a white supremacist. But keep in mind that only white supremacists are voting for Trump. And weird, in my personal opinion, that a person of color would align themselves with either one of those. It's just weird. It's just weird. And listen, so I know we're on different topics here, but I would like, if I could, maybe in the comments or something, because I really don't want to, maybe in the comments, a conservative Christian could actually explain to me the difference between Trumpsters and idolatry, because it looks like idolatry from this side. It looks like there is either idol worship of Donald Trump or idol worship of money, possible money that he may bring to you or may not, being that you're not a billionaire, because now your whole cabinet is full of billionaires, and I don't know what y'all are thinking with that one, but go on, you. I'm just asking, what's the difference in what you're doing and what them people worshiping that golden calf in the Bible was doing? I'm just asking a question because it looks the same to me.
There you go. Hard questions, hard conversations that need to be had.
I had a friend of mine tell me that they were invited to this church, right? And it was a group of friends that were going to a church, and they were super hype about it. Drove from Fort Worth to Plano. If anyone knows what that drive is like, that is not a drive. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to this church, I'm thinking it's going to be amazing. They pull up in the parking lot. Beautiful, beautiful church, beautiful parking lot. They go into church, and I'm told that the pastor was not actually there. He did send a message. He did send the word, and it was a 30-minute long word about Donald Trump. I came for Jesus and you gave me Donald. The way I would have gathered myself loudly as possible and got up out of there. I mean, I'm rushing I'm rustling papers. I'm grabbing keys. You're going to hear my clicks at the door from my heels. The door's going to slam open. And I'm letting all the sun in. Because I came for Jesus. And you gave me down. See, that's my thing, though. I'm not a fan of politics in the pulpit. So I'm not really going to understand that. But if someone could explain to me how that is not a part of idol worship, I would be very open to hearing it.
Help me understand. Isn't there supposed to be a separation of church and state?
There is, but keep in mind who we're talking about. I don't think that really applies to this group of people.
Okay. Okay. I mean, you definitely have a point there because this group of people literally votes with the thought process that this party is about them and for them, and their conservative beliefs are aligned with this party, and it never has been and it never will be. But unfortunately, someone or something out there makes them believe that it is. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I've always been very, very, very animate about the separation of church and state. Even when I don't talk politics, I think church and state definitely should. It's the foundation of this country.
You know what?
It is the very foundation of this country. It is the very reason why this country was stolen from a whole group of individuals that already lived here, was because they wanted to separate themselves from England because of the influences of the church on the country. Again, history lessons.
History. Exactly. History repeats.
History lessons here.
And you know what? I didn't used to be on that train, but I am now. I used to think about it as in, yeah, we should be able to do, prayer should be in school. I remember this, prayer should be in school. But it always comes across my mind that there was a guy in my 5th grade class, and I believe he was Muslim. And for him to stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance completely like against his beliefs, for him to, that all of that. And I think about him a lot. Like, we were like 11, but I always think about that a lot because I would be so mad if I went into a space and they told me, in order to be this space, I need you to pray to Buddha or whoever. That ain't my God. That's not what I do. I don't want that, but I don't want to be uncomfortable in the space either. I definitely believe in separation of church and state. Do I believe that if you want to go over here and go pray. If I was in a Muslim school or in a Muslim country and I would have to pray how many times, like 5 times a day or whatever, I ain't gonna hold you. I'll be kind of mad. Like, I ain't gonna hold. And we've seen it from our line of work. We know what time everybody has to stop and go pray. And there was even a space in my office made so that they had somewhere to go and pray. So I understand, but I would be so pissed off if I was forced into doing this and this was not my religion of choice. So I can tell, I'm totally with separation of church and state. And I feel like that is a way for people to try to say, oh, well, I'm religious. Look at me. I have the 10 Commandments in my classroom. Look at me. You got the 10 Commandments in your classroom. How many of them have you broken in the past month? Take that down, please. I don't mean no harm. But, Mr. Smith, I know you and Miss Jackie over there is cheating with each other. Both of y'all married. Adultery. Take it down. 'Cause we're not perfect. And you shouldn't be trying to push everything off on everybody. And I know you might hear this and be like, well, I didn't know you weren't a Christian. I am. But not even a but. I am. I think I am more Christian than a lot of Christians are Christians, because I don't know what Bible y'all are reading, but we're not reading the same one. Because a lot of the stuff that y'all are doing ain't in there. Y'all making it up as you go. It ain't in there.
We talk Christianity, and for those that, for me, growing up as in a Christian household, being a Christian myself, the one thing that's always stuck out to me when people start talking Christianity to me, and especially Christianity and politics, has always been that verse, "He who is without sin cast the first stone."
And they be throwing stones like they ain't got no sins. I'm not saying they as in this party. I'm just saying people in general. They put the rock down. Put the rock down. Put it down. Put it down.
Put the rock down. Thou shalt not kill, and I see a whole group of people ready to kill somebody on sight. I'm just saying.
A whole group of people getting killed behind money, but we ain't even gonna go there because since they ain't in this country, it don't really matter. But anyway, continue. What was you saying?
Yes, yes, it's a constitutional right. However, if you actually read the Constitution, you'd understand that was around a time when it was actually needed. I don't think it's so much needed now as it was back then, but everybody's been holding on to it like all of a sudden we're going to be invaded again any day now.
But here's the thing. When I was in high school, mostly my junior, senior years, I carried my Bible all the time with me. I had a Bible in there. You know, that's what I did in my part-time. If I had some downtime, I had my Bible with me. It's so weird to think that if I was in another country and they were doing the same thing that we're doing here, they would ban my Bible.
Absolutely.
They would take it away. They would tell me I can't bring it or I can't do it or you have to do this. You have to do this. What?
It's so much we can discuss when we discuss
right.
That line that continuously is crossed, that line that is continuously fed to individuals that, you know, we're doing this in the name of Christianity. We should be more Christ-like. We should be more this. We should be more that, when in all technicality and all honesty, you're not even following it yourself. So,
And the thing is to expect perfection from imperfect people is madness. To me, it's madness.
Isn't the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results?
I guess we in the middle of insanity, then, aren't we? Because I feel like I've seen this episode before. Shonda, no more reruns, sis. We've seen this episode already. Write something new.
Sure, we've seen this episode quite a few times. I mean, we've seen it.
So at this point, we just sit back and watch. I mean, I guess can I say something?
No. Yes and no. Yes, I'm going to let you say something in just a second. Yes and
yes.
No. Because I feel like there is a portion of the conversation that gets skipped over a lot that I've seen by different types of media that has reminded people that it was you, the people, that changed the world. And it was you, the people, that went out and made your voices heard. It was you, the people, small minority, large minority, majority. It was you, the people, that made your voices heard. And I think it's time we go back to that and remember that we are the people under the Constitution of the United States. We, the people, not we, the majority. It says we, the people. So if anyone remembers the preamble to the Constitution of the United States, then get up, get out, and make your voices heard, because you can't. I mean, you can't, and they've tried, but you cannot silence. You cannot silence the voice of the people. And if people don't come together now, they won't come together at all. All I know is we the people. Mm-hmm. We the people. We've got to be the change that we want to see. We've got to go back, and since we can't remember history, maybe somebody can pick up a book and remember how people changed the world to begin with, how the Civil Rights Act was signed and delivered, how the Women's Voting Rights Act was signed, how these things were done, how we got out of Vietnam, you know, how people's voices came together, and even if it was the minority, people's voices came together and they had no choice but to change. I mean, you're on a world stage. You're not going to be able to make the same. You're not going to be able to turn this country into a dictatorship on a world stage. It just cannot happen. Also, economically, it just can't happen because the whole world's economics kind of starts and ends with us. So might not want to be able to do. But I digress.
Okay. I think I might have a bit of a hot take. Don't do the recount. Don't do the recount. I know that there's some people who Boston has decided that, hey, something's not looking right. We're going to recount this. I know there's some people who want a recount. Don't do it. It gives.
Al Gore, George Bush.
No, it gives Trump 2020, I guess, where everybody wanted the recount and then these are not fair. I say,
I got you.
Let it happen. Whatever it is, if I don't know nothing, I know we are resilient. Not only is it that we are resilient as American people, but for a lot of us, people of color, it's in our DNA. We're resilient. Let it happen. Whatever he wants to happen, let it happen. Because 4 years from now, I will be talking shit. I promise. I will be talking shit because this find out stage came so fast. I mean, he's just president-elect. He's not even into the White House just now. And Elon Musk is part of his cabinet. What were y'all thinking? Is Elon Musk even a citizen?
I think he eventually did get his citizenship before.
Because I thought isn't he like South African or something? I don't know.
I believe he went and got his citizenship before he became.
Listen.
Of course, he had help because, he's a Nepo baby, but, hey.
Just
what makes him happy to something. But I agree with you. I do agree. I do agree that it is time for the find out stage and for that are resilient and can bounce back and continue to thrive in any environment. Oh yeah. Yeah. It is absolutely time for the find out stage. It's absolutely time for people to find out what Project 2025 was. It's time for people to understand all that.
And I sorry, not gonna lie. I believe Project 2025 is like 900 pages long. So I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you that I haven't read it. I ain't read it from cover to cover. I'm not gonna lie. However, what I do know is that our border czar happens to be one of the authors of Project 2025. Listen, this shit, you can't make this. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing. You can't make this up. Like, I feel like it gets stupider and stupider as we keep going. It's like watching a show and you like, a horror film. You don't stay here behind that door. Girl, what is you doing? Get up. Don't fall. Get up and run. That's what I feel like I'm doing right now in real time, in real life.
Absolutely.
I don't think we should recount. And another hot take is going to be nasty. Ugh. I don't think Kamala wanted it. And I wholeheartedly do not blame her at all. But I don't think she wanted it. I feel like we wanted it for her. I feel like the people wanted Jasmine Crockett, but since all we had was Kamala Harris, then we were trying to make Kamala Harris our Jasmine Crockett, when in real life we need Jasmine Crockett. I don't think that she was fully invested the way that I think she was invested because the people wanted her to be invested. I don't think this was her plan. Biden was going to do it again. She was going to step down, whoop-de-whoop. All of a sudden, no, Biden do, bring Kamala up. And now she's thrown out there. And I don't feel like she honestly wanted to do that like that. I feel like she did. There were some things where she had to play a role. Hey, it's Beyonce and I got greens. I feel like she had to play that role because that's what people were expecting of her. If that ain't who she is, that ain't who she is. If she is this AKA HBCU alum, let her be that. And I think that people didn't allow her to be her authentic self. And that's why it didn't go the way it could have went. We want a Jasmine Crockett, and Kamala was not exactly what she wasn't the Jasmine Crockett that we want and need. And I think that's where we messed up. She wasn't able to be herself authentically. And it came out as super fake. And I think that was one of the issues. That's my hot take.
I'm piggybacking off of your hot take to make it even more hot take. I think she was her authentic self. I think the problem is that we wanted her to be someone that she wasn't. And she was giving us her authentic self as far as being a mixed race Black woman. She's lived a life where she's had the best of both worlds. However, as a mixed race Black woman, you tend to be a little bit more on the clean cut, maybe not eating greens, maybe never seen a ham hock a day in your life type. And I guess the Black voters wanted her to be that type. I don't know. To me,
Yeah.
I've grown up, to be very transparent, in a mixed race family. My grandmother was mixed race. My grandfather, 100% African American from Mississippi. Okay.
He said, don't make no mistakes.
No mistakes. I understand it from kind of, and I guess I've been blessed with that understanding. I've been blessed with that understanding to realize that there's some Black people that are authentically themselves, and it seems like they are more on the other side of the fence than some other Black people that are 100%, Mississippi born, bred, and raised Black people. I think for her, she was thrust into this one too late, way too late. I think after that,
Agreed.
Date should have been her. It should not have been him. Should not have been.
But see that I don't feel like they even was looking at her on that level until results came back and they was like, we ain't gonna be able to do it with Joe. And I don't even think she was even a consideration until then.
Was not. She absolutely was not. And that's why I said I think they looked at her too late. Like the Democratic Party put themselves in a bad position. They should have not went with Joe Biden to begin with.
Agreed.
You knew that Joe was too old when Joe was falling up the stairs on Air Force One. You knew Joe was too old when he got to rambling and didn't nobody know what he was talking about.
See, that rambling thing, that looked like a touch of Alzheimer's or dementia to me. And I don't understand why nobody clocked that key then. Or maybe they did clock it and they tried to sweep it under the rug and keep it to themselves. Either way it goes, they should have clocked it then. And I don't understand why they didn't. They set up the Democratic Party for failure from there.
Absolutely. Democratic Party set themselves up for failure long before this election. No Democrat is ever going to get 100% of the African American votes or the minority vote ever, period. Like that's not going to happen ever, 100%. Let's just, even Barack Obama didn't get 100% of the minority vote. However, she did wind up with way more of the African American women, Hispanic women voters than someone else possibly could have. And
you know what?
But
one more hot take to go off of that one. Mm-hmm. I think I ain't gonna hold you. There's no way nobody is gonna make me believe that the power of the D9 was not right there with her, because ain't no way you gonna make me believe that D9 did not pull that off.
Oh, absolutely. But
so kudos to them. I'm gonna give them all their credit and all they pop, because D9 came in and was like, say less, sis, I got this. And I feel like D9 pulled that off.